The White House said the president decided to make the West Point speech in part to clarify why he acted differently in Somalia than Bosnia. He said risks were too high and the outcome too uncertain in Bosnia.
Up to now, it's not been clear that the application of limited amounts of force by the United States and its traditional friends and allies would have had the desired effect, given the nature and the complexity of that situation.
The president, however, emotionally defended American troops in Somalia.
Or in Somalia, the young Marine, eyes filled with tears, holding the fragile arm of an emaciated child.
Later, the president said he may make one last televised speech before leaving office.
The American aircraft carrier USS John F. Kennedy may be headed toward Bosnia tonight. The ship steamed out of Marseille a day after President Bush and French President Mitterrand said they support military enforcement of the UN's no-fly zone over Bosnia. The United States has asked the United Nations to allow Allied warplanes to shoot down Serbian planes violating airspace. Another U.S. ship, the helicopter carrier Tripoli, is doing double duty as a hospital ship near Somalia. Somalis who were wounded in recent clashes or accidents with U.S. troops in Mogadishu have been flown to the ship for treatment. Some of the casualties reportedly were shot by U.S. Marines in actions against stone throwers, or others were wounded by mistake.
President-elect Bill Clinton has announced that his 12-year-old daughter will attend a private Quaker school in Washington. Chelsea Clinton now attends public school in Little Rock. The decision to move her to the exclusive Sidewell Friends School has disappointed many Washington city leaders who hoped the president would boost support for public schools by placing his daughter in one. Still, teacher union leaders have supported the Clintons for doing what they thought was best for their child.
And here in the Bay Area, parents and teachers are concerned about high levels of electromagnetic radiation found at a Santa Clara elementary school. Tonight, parents met with the school's principal to find out what can be done about it. Channel 7's Laura Marquez reports.
These high-voltage power lines that tower over Montague Elementary School are radiating high levels of electromagnetic fields. The school's principal told tonight's PTA meeting PG&E had measured the school's EMF levels last month.
The readings came out higher than anticipated.
Although there is no consensus in the scientific field as to the health hazards of EMFs, a recent study in Sweden found children living underneath power lines developed 3 to 4 times more leukemia than children living elsewhere. That concerns this teacher who's taught at Montague for 26 years.
I'm afraid that the long-term range, we could have all kinds of problems that we don't know about yet. I do know of one person who has had breast cancer in this wing, and we do have a former teacher who died of leukemia in 1988. She spent several years in the wing.
The situation here at Montague Elementary is similar to a school in Fresno that also recorded high levels of EMFs from power lines surrounding the schools. Fresno officials moved the children out of those classrooms, and the levels recorded in Fresno were even lower than those taken here in Santa Clara.
I'd like to see the kids moved yesterday. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but we are going to be pushing to have the children moved from the classrooms that are affected, that are considered too high, into portables temporarily until we can remedy the situation.
The PG&E report will be presented to the school board Thursday night. In Santa Clara, Laura Marquez, Channel 7 News Tonight.
We now have a follow-up report on a special election in the East Bay city of Dublin. Unofficial final results show voters have defeated a plan to develop more than 3,200 acres of rangeland. Dublin residents were asked to decide the fate of a proposal to put more than 3,000 homes on 2 ridges north of Interstate 580. Measure A, supporting the development, was voted down by more than 3-to-1 margin. Measure B, also supporting development with some restrictions, was defeated by a smaller margin.
Still ahead, Brian Hackney returns with the latest on the stormy weather.
And, Mr. Brown, we have an updated radar image for you, as well as the latest satellite loop. We'll do that. We will also show you some good news as regards the drought after they poked that thing into the snow. The results coming up.
Every day you watch Pete Giddings to find out what the weather is. Now watch Pete and find out the hows and whys. How are the clouds created? Why does the wind blow? Understand the forces that create and control our weather. Watch Weather Fun. Thousands of Bay Area children learn weather science from Pete's award-winning program. And now Weather Fun comes to Channel 7 News. Write to Channel 7 for Pete's easy-to-use workbook, and then watch Weather Fun every weekday on Channel 7 News at 11:30.
It's really important that the dog be bred right and then be fed right.
Tom Wilson, top breeder of champion Weimaraners.
I think pedigree is one dog food that has the kind of chunks of meat in it that the dogs really like. Pedigree meat and the pedigree mealtime dry mixed together is the best combination I've ever found for my dogs. I've been feeding pedigree for almost 10 years now, and my dogs do so well on it I wouldn't change a thing.
Pedigree, developed with vets, recommended by top breeders.
Once a year and only once a year, the Men's Wearhouse has a sale. Save an additional 20 to 40% on suits, sport coats, and slacks. It takes a Men's Wearhouse sale to beat a Men's Wearhouse price. I guarantee it.
He wants to have sex all the time. She tries to satisfy him, but he never seems to get enough. Can these men control their insatiable urge for sex? Women who love sex addicts. Next Donahue.
Tomorrow at 4 on Channel 7.
As soon as you find that.
Oh, my gosh.
As soon as you find that, come on over and sit down. Okay.
Wouldn't want to rush you or anything like that, but you have time, Dan, because Brian Hackney has more now on the storm system and a look at tomorrow's forecast.
Dan has always wanted to stand in front of a map. He wants this job. First thing we'll do is go outside tonight. You can't see the chill in the air, but we'll help you along by putting up the numbers. Do you realize that at 11:15, the temperature is 44 degrees? Well, that's interesting enough. That's also the high temperature for the day. That's all we managed in San Francisco. The low overnight, 41 degrees. The humidity at 78%. The pressure, 29, 88 and falling. Winds are out of the east-northeast at about 4. And we begin tonight with some good news for Switch. Ooh. They really had to go plowing through the snow up in the Sierra today. Joel Bartlett went along for the snow survey, first of the year, and when they put that little thing in the snow and pulled it out, here's what they found. The snow survey now has officially, actually Frosty the Snowman was up there, and yellow Jerry, Earth to Jerry, yellow, there we go. The snow survey has officially shown that when you put the ruler in the snow, the total amount, by golly, it buried them, didn't it? 7.5 feet deep. The water content is also important. They measured that as well, 22 inches. How good is that? Well, to this point in the season, it's 207% of average, and that is looking awful good for this point in the year. And there's more on the way, too. Weather, the latest is that we have a winter storm watch posted from about Lake Tahoe south. There are gale warnings south of Point Pinos all the way down to Point Conception. And the updated weather radar that we just pulled in a couple of minutes ago is showing the rain enhancing a bit over the Bay Area. In fact, kind of a strong cell over what looks to be about King City. It's still pretty widely scattered. It's still fairly light. And on the time lapse, I'll show you this one more time. You can see the cold air. Now, the low that was up there just scooted offshore. High clouds continue to pour over California. And tonight, folks, officially at the station, how much do you suppose we've picked up? Rain? Yeah.
A lot.
Not
6/100 of an inch.
Ooh.
Storm of the century. There will be more where that came from. As you can see, a lot of this is enhanced off of Point Conception. It's going to push inland. We're going to get some showers tomorrow. But boy, as far as I'm concerned, the other story of the day was the cold. Boy, it was chilly today. 39 at Sonoma, 40 degrees at Walnut Creek, only 34 out at Pittsburgh. And down in the South Bay, 48 and a trace for San Jose, 46 at Los Gatos. Cool weather will continue as well as we continue to look at the dividing line between cold air in the north, the warm air in the south. But you can see a lot of the action is just a little bit offshore, and the moisture stream continues over California. We will get showers. It's not going to be the storm to end all storms. It's going to be a decent little winter storm. And the forecast ties that we'll look for, 50s for the most part in the Bay Area, so we'll warm right up. Light rain will spread over the Bay Area tonight. And for tomorrow, we'll get rain favoring the south with highs in the 50s. And Pete Giddings will be in at 11:30 with some totals for you, okay?
Okay,
it's
but
not
no
going to
killer
wash
storm.
everybody away. Yeah.
Oh, good news. Thanks, Brian.
Okay.
Scientists say that they have discovered the world's oldest dinosaur fossil in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. The two-legged meat-eater, the size of a small dog, is believed to have lived 250 million years ago. That's 225 million, I'm sorry. A paleontologist at the University of Chicago led the team that unearthed the fossil in Argentina. The dinosaur has been dubbed Euraptor, or Dawn Stealer. That's Dawn, D-A-W-N, since it appeared at dawn of the dinosaur age. Scientists say the find brings them a step closer to identifying a common ancestor for all dinosaurs.
And when we come back, Dan Lovett has sports, and a new sport hits the slopes of the Sierra.
Do you have the need to be right all the time?
She is the boss of everything.
Is your life one crisis after another?
She calls my mom. She You just can't handle it.
You have trouble understanding yourself?
I get really upset and I start to cry, even if it's nothing to get upset about.
You may be carrying some excess baggage, and I'm not talking about suitcases either, when your biggest problem is YOU on the next Oprah.
Tomorrow at 3 on Channel 7.
You see, this is a list of things I had to do on Monday. This one is everything I had to do on Tuesday, plus what I didn't get done on Monday. Wednesday's list is ridiculous. Thursday's hopeless, and here it is Friday. But things are looking up, because the one thing that I really need to do is go to the bank. And I can do that tomorrow, because Great Western is open Saturday. Even I don't need a list to remember that.